Yesterday was Durutu full moon Poya, the day Lord Buddha made his first visit to Sri Lanka over 25 centuries ago, believed to be in Mahayangana. Welcome to Kaleidoscope with me, Savithri Rodrigo. On our People's Bank News Capsule, Trisha Pires gives the lowdown on the depreciating rupee, and Himali De Silva shows how she brings Obe and Mage to make Ape. Our furry friends get a green makeover with Kuppameniya on Singer Life in 60, and some disturbing details are revealed about the Mannar sand mining with Dr. Sampath Senaviratne on Selinko Live. Let's talk. And so we begin our Kaleidoscope snapshot. Sri Lanka targets $13 billion in exports in 2021. In 2020, cinnamon exports recorded a high of 18,000 metric tons at 38.2 billion rupees. But tea exports declined to its lowest in 23 years to 230.1 billion rupees, down by 4.56. Two top investors, Silicon Valley's Insaf Mohideen and Nomura International's MD Jezri Mohideen, were in Sri Lanka this week scouting investment opportunities. The historic 80 Club will be transformed into a boutique hotel and international-level business club. Keel Super has introduced compostable bags for top crust bread in a bid to reduce single-use polythene by 50% by July this year. Singapore Airlines has been awarded a diamond rating, the highest in global airline health and safety audits. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has changed the name of the dragon fruit to lotus. Germany is the world's first country to ban mass shredding of tens of millions of male chicks in a significant step towards animal welfare. And Denmark celebrated the 100th anniversary of hot dog stands in the country. As we begin our People's Bank News Capsule, on the 29th of January 2020, the dollar was 181 rupees. 1 year later, it's above 200. That's a rupee devaluation of over 10% in just 1 year. To explain the implications of this devaluation, I've got Head of Economic Research of Frontier Research, Trisha Pires, in an exclusive with Kaleidoscope.
Just within the last 1.5 months or so, the rupee has weakened by about 6% against the US dollar, which is rather significant given that it only moved by about 2% for the first 11 months of 2020. This was supported by a weaker US dollar along with the import restrictions that limited the amount of currency outflows from the country. However, with the recent sovereign rating downgrades by Moody's, Fitch as well as S&P, this has hampered our ability to roll over debt and resulted in a confidence shock to foreign investors, thereby hampering our private bank credit lines. So this is resulting in somewhat of a dollar shortage in the market at the moment, which is why we are seeing this sudden rise. The depreciatory pressure is only likely to get worse with our repayments coming due towards the second half of 2021. And the central bank also has a limited ability to intervene due to its low level of reserves. So in order to cap or slow this rate of depreciation, it would require a substantial amount of foreign funds to come in. This could be in the form of swaps or loans by some of our bilateral partners like China or India, which is really what the government is talking about right now, or somewhat of an IMF agreement, which would result in an improvement of our sovereign ratings, which would enable us to access international markets once again.
The newest kid on the block in Sri Lanka's billion-dollar company's honor roll on the Colombo Stock Exchange is LOLC. In the meanwhile, the stock market continued being robust through the week, with the average daily turnover reaching 13.4 billion rupees and the indices moving up by 3.8%. And on oil news, WTI was at $52.85 per barrel, up from last week, boosted by risks to global supplies as Iraq reportedly plans to cut production and Libya sees the disruptions to crude exports due to a pay dispute. There was lack of support for gold this week, and it was down slightly, trading at $1,846 an ounce. We are all guilty of irresponsible consumption. We use and throw away products that still have a life in them. Wastage as a result is systemic and has an adverse impact on the environment. Creating awareness about circular consumption is definitely a necessity, especially given how much we waste. Having worked with global brands across the US, UK, Singapore and Sri Lanka, Himali De Silva decided to do it her way. She founded Ape, a resale platform that builds a community who resell and rebuy from each other.
Hi, I'm Himali, the founder of Update. I created Update to raise awareness of the numerous benefits of circular consumption and to enable it via providing a platform for pre-loved items. There is a lot of wastage that occurs around us in Sri Lanka. If we choose consciously to extend the life cycle of our items, we can hereby reduce wastage. Also, we have partnered with Amitsu, a children's home for 24 abandoned children, and we donate a percentage of all sales to Amitsu. Please do join our conscious consumer movement.
We all take our education and educational facilities for granted, don't we? But right around the country, there are schools in disadvantaged areas that barely have classrooms. And this is why Selinco Life continues to help schools in these areas by building classrooms. Recently, the company completed its 82nd and 83rd buildings in Alpitia and Kagala, empowering over 400 students in both schools to continue studying with better facilities. After having taken over US jeweler Tiffany & Company for $15.8 billion, French luxury goods group LVMH will be adding more carats and sparkle to Tiffany's merchandise lineup and revamping some of Tiffany's 320 shops around the United States. Now here's where fashion goes to the cats, not the dogs. A 39-year-old Indonesian quit his job as a teacher and decided to make outfits for cats. Each outfit is priced between $6 and $10, and he designs everything from superhero outfits to cosplay characters and nurses and even hijabs. And with that feline fashion display, we close our People's Bank News capsule. Coming up next is the Mannar sand mining crisis. On Selinco Life, let's talk.
With Selinco Life Pension Saver, Sri Lanka's premier retirement plan, start planning for your retirement today. Selinco Life, a relationship for life.
It's a sandy island of just 140 square kilometers, but is of global ecological significance. A Ramsar site established by UNESCO, this is a wetland area that hosts migratory birds from 30 countries, at least 1 million of them in fact, is home to 8 critically endangered species of bird, 5 sea turtle species, is rich in blue swimming crab and the critically endangered dugong. And this living, breathing ecological phenomenon, Mannar Island, with its thriving fishing and farming communities, is being vandalized. An Australian company plans to mine the rich deposits of mineral ilmenite, 265 million tons of it in fact, from the 26-kilometer long, 8-kilometer wide tiny stretch of shoreline. This will surely kill the island, and not just the thousands of people living on it, but the entire ecosystem that has thrived there for centuries. Ilmenite is primarily used in paint, ink, plastics and cosmetics. I spoke with consultant scientist in molecular ecology, evolution and ornithology and senior lecturer in zoology of the Department of Zoology and Environmental Sciences of the University of Colombo, Dr. Sampath Seneviratne, on the implications the sand mining will have on Mannar Island. Would Mannar Island survive this?
It's a small, thin island made out of sand. So tell me, you can tell me, if you get pull the sand out from a sand island in the middle of the ocean, it will be filled with water. No. Mannar cannot sustain. Mannar can't afford to scrape its surface area for 2 reasons. One, it's made up of sand, so you can't get sand out of a sandy island, and B, it is a very low-lying island. It is, say, the maximum height would be less than 5 meters. So you scrape the top and then the water will come. It's in the middle of the ocean. Yes, Mannar can't handle that.
So what do you think are the ecological problems that will surface with this mining?
Mannar Island is located in the Pork Bay. Pork Bay is a marine sanctuary. It is one of the richest marine ecosystems in the northern Indian Ocean. Not just in Sri Lanka, in the northern Indian Ocean, it is one of the richest. And it globally recognized as a Ramsar site, one of the most important overwintering sites for migratory birds. It is one of the few locations available for dugong, and it is one of the richest shellfish fishery grounds in the northern Indian Ocean. not just Sri Lanka, for the Indian Ocean. So Mannar is nestled right on that place. So how you gonna get ilmenite out? You need ships coming in. You need to throw the waste out. Where gonna you do that? You have a sandy island where it won't last anyway if you get the sand out, and for that mine, all the effluent has to be released onto this highly sensitive, globally important, nationally critically important marine ecosystem.
What would happen to the livelihoods in the area? There's a very vibrant fishing community, for instance, but what would happen to the entirety of those livelihoods when the mining starts and if it's continued?
So this is the blue swimming crab fishery grounds. This is the richest fishing grounds in the region, and so to get these harvests, there's a community, or a communities, about thousands of communities of fishermen living along the shoreline in all sides of Mannar, and also some fisher folks live inside inland in the Mannar island. So the Mannar coastline is nestled with these fishing communities. So all these fishing activity basically getting the riches of the rich fishing grounds, shellfish, fish and other marine products. So those fisher folks will find it very difficult if a mine comes and started to operate. On top of the fishing community, there are agriculture, the palm, coconut palm plantations, and palmyra palm, and then about five large hotels. So all these people is kind of cramped in this 40 by 5 kilometer small sandy island.
And what is the next step?
I think first the legality has to be checked. If it is illegal, somebody has to be punished. Had the Mines Bureau given a legal clear permit, that has to be checked. So legality has to be checked, and then had the EIA been done, because you cannot, in Sri Lankan law, you cannot do a project of this extent without a proper environmental impact assessment. Beyond these EIAs, you have to get a special clearance, environmental clearance from Coast Conservation Authority, and so that had those been done, they have to be done, and an expert team has to be assess the ecological impact, sociological impact and economic impact.
The mining company is currently conducting a scoping study, drilling over 3,000 exploratory holes, some to a depth of about 12 meters. The people of Mannar are naturally frightened and angry for all good reason. What happens when you remove sand from a sandy island? The island disappears. There will be nothing left for the people, the birds or the marine life that thrives on this tiny strip of sandy land and surrounding sea. Are we Sri Lankans short-sighted? Blessed as we are with a land rich in natural resources, we are hell-bent on destroying it, aren't we? Thank you, Sampath, for joining us on Sellico Life Let's Talk and enlightening us on an ecological disaster waiting to happen, unless, of course, good sense prevails.
With Sellico Life Pension Saver, Sri Lanka's premier retirement plan, start planning for a retirement today. Sellico Life, a relationship for life.
We'll be back with some TLC for furry friends on Singer Life in 60. We go into Singer Life in 60, honing in on yet another delightful feature in our lives, our furry friends. Guyan De Silva and Melanie De Silva Detweiler decided to start an eco-friendly range of pet products, having watched their loved feline friend naturally turn towards the herbal Kuppameniya plant when it needed a bit of fixing. Here's their story.
In today's world, there are a lot of pet products made from plastic and synthetic materials, which are hazardous for animals and cause a lot of damage to the environment.
So, we decided to go green. This is Kuppameniya, a plant that cats love.
We decided to use this green concept to create an eco-friendly pet brand that our furry friends will love.
We use raw materials that are locally sourced, upcycled and biodegradable to create our pet products.
All our products are mostly handmade in-house and tested by our furry friends to ensure the best experience.
The love that we have for our environment and our animals and ensuring them the best quality of life was our inspiration for Kuppameniya.
It is important to be eco-conscious and make a change wherever possible. And your home is something you have control over, so why not make a change?
Your pets and you are doing your bit for the planet when you go eco-friendly for your furry pal. Thank you both Gayan and Melanie from Kuppameniya for joining us on Singer Life in 60. We're always excited to hear from you. Send in your comments and suggestions to kaleidoscopeweekly1@gmail.com and also click on the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, Kaleidoscope with Savithri Rodrigo, and press the bell so you don't miss out. As we leave you this week, remember we are still in the middle of a pandemic. Do sanitize whenever you go out and come in. Use Amami hand sanitizer, which kills germs naturally. It comes in handy 250 ml and 500 ml pump bottles, as well as industrial sized gallons and pocket sized bottles. Wear your mask and avoid being in crowded places. We'll be back next Friday. Now, here's our Kaleidoscope takeaway. Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. Mahatma Gandhi.